What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Catch You Later. Now, people ask me all the time, how do you plan your trips? And the simple answer is, I don't. And today is a great example of that. I thought we were going to have great weather, and it turns out there was a cold front coming. So I only had about an hour and a half to catch fish, and catch fish I did. So stay tuned, and I'm going to show y'all how to do that. But before y'all jump into that, please consider liking and subscribing and dropping a comment. YouTube is kind of upset with me right now because I haven't been releasing content as much as I'd like, and I'll talk about that in the channel. But I know most of you watching haven't subscribed yet, so if you could, please do that. It really helps the channel grow. Anyway, enough of that junk. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of Catch You Later, you guys. You can see it's super windy. People have asked me a lot, how do you plan your trips? And the truth is, I don't. I really just look for when do I have the time and when is the weather right. And I had checked a couple of days ago and it looked like the weather would be right today. It's not. We have maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours to fish. There's a cold front coming through. But sometimes when that cold front comes through, you can find some really good fishing. Now we're at spot number 2. This is going to be our last spot by default. Let's see what we can do. Gonna have to fish really fast, which I don't like to do. I like to fish pretty slow, but we don't have a choice today. Now the tide is super high. It stopped falling at maybe 7 a.m. today, and it was gonna be rising anyway, but now we've got this really strong east wind that's kind of pushing towards this cold front that we're about to get. And that is making the water really, really high, which is very abnormal for winter. So that means I can get into some areas that normally I wouldn't be able to, and that's pretty much just what I'm going to do today, is just fish some areas that in wintertime normally I can't fish. Something back there. There he is. Oh, there he is. Look at that. God, redfish are so much fun. Good Lord. God. Well, this makes the whole trip worth it to me. Oh, man. Whew. This fish is unbelievably pretty. Every time I come back here, I catch these just absolutely gorgeous redfish. I am going to keep this because I want to make a redfish dip, but normally I would throw this guy back because he's just so pretty. Look at that. I mean, golly, look how pretty this fish is. Now, I saw a post on the Wriggleats fishing group about bleeding out trout, and I've had comments on my channel, why do you bleed your redfish out? I've never really bled the trout out, but it does make the fish taste so much better, and it also makes them suffer less. Now, you might go, oh, that hoity-toity, animal-friendly stuff, that makes the meat taste better too, because they're pumping out way less stress hormones. So some people will just pop their gills. I like to cut them. Doesn't really matter. You just want to bleed them out. Pop both sides. It puts them out of their misery really fast. Less stress, less blood in your meat. Everything's better. All right, so we have an hour and a half to find fish. We just found one. Let's see if we can find a few more. You can see off in the distance, the front's quickly approaching. But that was absolutely textbook Catch You Later fishing. We were kind of cruising through these flats right here, doing a little bit of sight fishing, and spooked a few reds while we were doing that. But as we came out of this bayou, I heard a redfish in there. And so we just made our way in and ultimately didn't see it, but I just did a couple of blind casts in the back because I hadn't seen anything. So if it was here, it was going to be in that spot, and sure enough, it was. So even in these windy conditions, fishing with your senses always works. There's no electronics or anything that would help you catch that fish at all. You just got to be smart and aware of your surroundings. This is my primary sort of wintertime strategy. Find bracketed water that compresses. It works sort of like your thumb on a hose. You can see we've got this wide Water, it's a trout right there. Anyway, this big wide flat, a lot of wind, it's going to be pushing this water anyway, got a rising tide, and it doesn't matter whether the current is strong or not. When it gets pinched right there, it's going to make it faster. It's just how it works. So those are the primary things I look for anytime I'm fishing. There's one, there's one. Oh, what a great hit. Oh, we got off. Oh man, that trout knocked the absolute crap out of this lure. So we did see a trout turnover. We just had that one. I'm really unsure how that one got off. So we might have to put this power pole down and throw here a couple more times. Yep, there's one. There's one. Another trout. It's because it's not a little puppy drum. Nice. Hopefully it's keeper size. It'll be borderline. Nice. Oh, I think it will be keeper. You can hear it drumming. That's why they're called drum. And if you ask me, there's not much finer table fare than a puppy drum. Okay, it is right at 16, so I'm keeping it. I absolutely love drum. All right, so now we just need a trout for a slam. Not bad for just an hour. Yeah, I thought it was a trout at first because I saw the silver, but as it started to fight, I knew we had something else. But let's kind of go over this. We had that trout kind of right in the middle. We saw a trout turn over as we came kind of through there. Hung up. That must be why they're all there though. Let's see if we can get unstuck. Usually you can get unstuck if you just go to the other side of it, but did not have luck with that earlier. There we go. All right. Well, where we were just hung up at is where most of our hits came from. Oh, there's one. Oh, it got off. Huh. Okay. What have we stumbled upon here? Seriously, there's really nothing here for me to cue in on why these fish are here. It makes a little bit of logical sense. Got all this water from that marsh just kind of flowing through here. There's one. Man, these fish are fighting just so strong. This one, I think I've got a good enough hook set to boat flip. Wow. All right, we got our Cajun Slam. Not bad for an hour and a half of fishing, y'all. Okay. Well, so a puppy drum, hooked 2 specks, landed 1, all in this little area right here. And you can see, because I've got the power pole down, the direction of the current. I mean, it's just running right into this grass right behind me. And these fish, for whatever reason, just on this flat, I guess kind of staging up. This is the first cast in, I guess, about 5 that we didn't have a hit. And it's also so interesting because we did see that trout when we came in, and I threw right at it and we got nothing. It wasn't until we got on this side of them that we started getting hits. And that tells me they're expecting it to be coming that way. Only sort of visual marker I can kind of see, that you can see right there, there's a little bit of a slick, so I'm going to throw at it. Not sure if I mentioned it yet, but obviously something's new. I've got this foot pedal. It's also a whole new trolling motor. I came out, not here, but camped at St. Bernard State Park, attempted to do a catch and cook, and for some reason none of my audio saved. But during that trip, I had planned to do a whole weekend of camping in St. Bernard State Park, going fishing, and just eating what I caught. And while doing that, as soon as I started fishing, my trolling motor broke. So we've got a new trolling motor. This is a Riptide, or sorry, that's a Rova. You can find these, there's one, refurbished, which is what I did. Another trout. Nice trout too, man. These are really, really nice trout. Oh, look at that. What a nice trout. This is right at the limit of what I'll keep. Man, it was not going to get off. It's extremely well hooked. Oh my God. Well, that might do it for this little spot, but look at this trout. 16 inches. And what I like about these trout is they have not been shy. They are hitting it hard, which is why we're getting such good hook sets. 3 cast rule as always, and unfortunately my power pole decided to make some really loud noise for some unknown reason. Oh, there's one. This feels like a red, big head shakes. But I don't know, it might be a trout. This is a trout, it's pretty big. That's kind of ready. Yeah, there we go. That's a red. God, did y'all see my rod? Let that ready. Those head shakes it's doing, I mean, that's the #1 reason why you'll lose fish. I don't think this thing knew it was hooked though until it saw my boat. And I'm positive it's still got plenty more energy. I was talking to someone recently about catching these fish, and they're like, so I guess in your little boat you just got to wear them out. I'm like, yep, that's all I can do. And if y'all ever wonder why I'll run to the back of the boat like this, this was a lesson learned when I first got this boat. Very first redfish I hooked, fighting just like this. They all fight pretty much the same way. It ran to the back of the boat, and I've got trim tabs. And if this redfish goes against that trim tab, it's just gonna slice your line. So what I do is when they run to the back like that, I'll run to the back to kind of give them some space, and they usually will take it and not run right underneath the boat. Oh, man, this thing's not ready. Got it. What a fish, what a fish, what a fish. What is this tank doing back here? This is why I love wintertime fishing. These big boys come into the marsh. Or girls, whatever. And this is the biggest redfish I've caught in quite a bit. What an absolute bruiser. 11 to 36, 25 inches, so not close to a personal best, but definitely biggest I've caught in a while. Look at this kind of oddity on its back fin. Let's let it go. All right, it swam off. Exactly what you want to see. Didn't keep it out of the water for too long, and man, that thing wore me out. But man, Cajun Slam with just an hour and a half to fish. And it's funny, you know, when I was driving up, saw all the cars and boats heading the other way, and I knew I'd have the water to myself, especially with this front coming and rain coming. And sometimes, y'all, that's all it takes. Oop, there's a hit. Trout are kind of the exception to the rule. If you find a school of trout, you know, you can catch them. But by and large, if you can find somewhere that's not very pressured, like where I am right now, you'll have a much better day. All right, give it a couple more casts, but my phone's blowing up, so let's check that. All right, so I'll give this a couple. Oh, there's one. Oh, that was a nice trout. Man, definitely hard to leave a bite like this, but soon we're gonna have to. But okay. A big 25, 26 inch red. We've got 15, 16, probably bigger trout in here. Puppy drum. That's everything. There's another one. That's gotta be a trout. Oh wow, look at it jump out. A trout pull and drag. Oh my gosh. Boom. Look at this trout. Look at this trout. Oh man, and it was barely hooked. Oh, I couldn't show it to y'all. Well, I got to see some of it. Didn't get to measure it. That was probably an 18. Jumping out of the water, acrobatic, man. So, this spot that I'm fishing, this is not a new spot to the channel. I've fished this spot a lot, but I've never fished it in winter. And I've always wanted to. And the reason for that is most of the time in winter, you just can't get here. For this pre-front, we're having a weird sort of mix of conditions where the tide was already rising. We've got a super strong east wind. Usually as a front comes in, what it's doing is it's pulling energy into the front. So the wind is going to be heading towards the front as it approaches. And that's what's causing this east wind. And that's making a really abnormal high tide for the winter. I mean, you can see all the grass is flooded, and that's what allowed us to get back here. And boy, am I glad I chose this. This is actually not the plan I had. I fished my wintertime spots first, or at least I tried to, and it was raining over them. And that's actually how I kind of figured out that it was going to rain. I saw the rain, I checked the radar and saw the big front coming. So anyway, all that is to say, I came out here just kind of on a lark. I figured, well, the tide's really high, let's go see. And man, get into these low pressure spots, I mean, it works. So keeping with the intro, people ask me all the time, how do you plan trips? I mean, the honest answer is I don't. I just go when I can. And you know, right now I just checked my phone. The reason I checked it, my phone was blowing up because I'm getting pictures of my daughter and all her friends. They're going on a big bike ride on the St. Tammany Trace and I'm missing it. You know, I really don't like that. But if I didn't come today, I wasn't going to get another chance for probably another 2 weeks. So had to come today. I wanted some fish to add to the gumbo I'm going to make for my birthday. And so we got it. I'm very happy about that. But all right, that was our 3 casts. Time to continue our drift. Just look at all these shotgun shells though. Man, I don't know, that's not cool. There's one. Yeah, there he is. Golly, another big trout. Not as big as the one I let jump out of my hands, but another nice trout. Look at this. Right at 16. Well, unfortunately, the current didn't let me protect this spot like I would have wanted to, so hopefully we didn't disrupt them too much, but I'm sure we did. All right, so we fished to the end of this bayou. Once we got out of where we were catching them, no more bites, and that's that salt strong rule. 90% of the fish are in 10% of the area or something like that. 10% of the area holds 90% of the fish. Don't know, but it is true. What makes those fish queue up on a certain feature or thing that particular day, I don't know. But what I do know is they were there. So we're gonna see very quickly if we can catch a few more, because I'm pretty sure that trout that jumped out was a 20-incher, and I would love to catch another 20-incher. And you know what? All of these have been caught on the H&H Kakaho, but we're going a different direction in the current, so I'm gonna actually switch to the marsh demon for a little while, because that's a really good with the current lure. Oh, there's one. Oh, oh, my drag is way too loose. Oh, he got off because my drag was so loose. Why is this drag so freaking loose? All right, well, unfortunately this reel, I must have spooled it wrong, so let's go back to something that has a little bit of drag. I do love these loose speed spool reels, especially for their price point. They're light, they're quiet, they're sturdy, but they definitely have to have like the appropriate care put into spooling them, or they won't function the way you want them to. They don't have the holes in the spool that you can just pass the braid to. But okay, I said we would double back, and we're almost right at where this all started. And sure enough, there's another one here. There's one. Golly. Gotta be a red. God, I love catching these fish so much. All right, well, I said I wasn't going to keep any more. Assuming we land this, I'll probably go ahead and keep it. Obviously no shortage of fish in this area, and this is a really good size. And, oh, and he swallowed the lure anyway, so don't think we have much of a choice. Man, did we find the fish, y'all. Let's bleed it out, and we'll stop keeping for sure now. What an unbelievable day. Look how well this lure is holding up too. I'm not sponsored by them. In fact, I'm sponsored by Marsh Demon, which is that fish that we just lost. And you should check out Marsh Demon. I got a little code for 10% off. But man, I mean, from this point to that point, everything we've caught has basically been right there, except for the first red. Just kind of unbelievable. Oh. As soon as it hit the water, I had a little strike there. I just wasn't ready. Now there is some water that I almost never fish right over here that's also pinched, and while we're here, might as well try it. Ooh, did you see that? That puppy drum followed it all the way over here. Golly. I think the thing I'm most happy with finding are these puppy drum. There's a fish, there's a fish. That'll be another red, man. Let's see if we can land it. A lot of times when I get ran into the ground like that, I tried to turn the trolling motor off, but I was just too slow. A lot of times I'll lose a fish if I do that. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Oh, y'all, we have found them today. This would also be a really good eating size, but I'm not going to keep it. Golly. Let's go through here and see if there's any more. Okay, well, just the red in there. I'm gonna turn around. This water is like crystal clear. I wanted to sight fish we could, but we've already got a full box. Oh, looks like there's one right over there. Oh, there's one. Oh, golly. I can't tell if that was a red or a trout. It came out of nowhere and popped this though. I mean, this water is very, very clear. I can't see anything. Like how that fish came out of nowhere without me seeing it first. That's hard to believe. There's one. There's one. Man, we caught one at that spot earlier. Stay buttoned up. I don't think it did. God dang it. Yeah, you really can't give trout any slack. They will get off the hook for sure. Well, as we close it out, just look how pretty this is. May have already mentioned I'm definitely missing some good family and friend time for this. But this is something I want to do. Eventually I'll probably start guiding, and this will be my next career, I suppose. But beyond that, it's just, there's one. Oh, such a good sort of mind reset to come out here. See these colors, hear these sounds. It just feels good. And if you like content like this, for sure, consider liking and subscribing. Definitely helps the channel grow, helps me keep doing this. Alright guys, well that about does it. As I've already said, if you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. Helps the channel grow, helps me stay motivated. And definitely drop a comment, even if it's just a thumbs up. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm. But as I pull this one back in, this is going to be the last cast. I got to go clean these fish and head home and say goodbye to the Thanksgiving holiday and get back to work. As always, like and subscribe, and à la prochaine. I'll catch you later. Merci à tous. That means thanks, you guys. See ya.